Breaking news, Panthers Nation, has now been released, as you probably know by now, that Deshaun Watson will not be facing any criminal charges in regards to the sexual assault, misconduct, or allegations that he was facing in the state of Texas, I guess Harris County in Houston. And the Panthers have been the front runners about being rumored to be making a move to trade for him since before he even got charged, throughout the process, and stuff has just been picking up steam leading up to this point. And now this announcement has been made, the floodgates have been open, and expect to hear more teams being in competition with the Panthers if they want to get him. But it seems like stuff has just been picking up steam and the Panthers will be very aggressive. So in this video, we're going to talk about everything that has to do with Deshaun Watson possibly coming to the Panthers, if they should do the trade, will they do the trade, how will it work, everything about it, man. We're talking about it in this video. We're starting right now. What up, dude? My name is Aaron Duncan here with the necessary bluntness. I bring you recap and analysis of the NFL, in particular the Carolina Panthers. So make sure you hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos. It's going to be a crazy offseason. It's already been, and the league year has not even started yet. So make sure you are subscribed. Hit the bell icon so you get notification. The bell icon, make sure you don't miss anything. Make sure you turn it on for all. Give the video a thumbs up also, because this is a tough discussion. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. But first, down below in the comments, let me know if you would be open to having Deshaun Watson on the Carolina Panthers. A lot of people is probably going to split the fan base down the middle. So I want to get you guys' opinion first down below in the comments. Let me know if you would be open to having Deshaun Watson on the team. I know some of y'all may be okay with it. The price is right. Some of you don't want to cross that line. It's about how you feel. I'm not going to judge anybody for how they feel about that part. So it is what it is. But for me, and from a morality standpoint, I'm not going to get too deep into it. I just want to say that people have to kind of just let this stuff play out. I know with hot takes and stuff going on in sports, it's hard. You want your knee-jerk reaction is kind of the first thing. I've been on Twitter. I'm pretty deep in Panthers Twitter, and I see a lot of different things. Some people really didn't care. Some people were like, I don't care if he's guilty or not. I'm not with it. Some people were towing that line. There's a gray area in between. To me, I said it before. I'll say it again. Did I think all 22 of the people were telling the truth? Did I think all 22 of them were lying? No. The truth is somewhere in the middle. Nevertheless, the grand jury felt that they didn't have enough evidence. That doesn't mean he's innocent. That doesn't mean he's guilty. That means that whatever was presented from the accusers wasn't really enough to compel them. Now, people say that many times, 9 times out of 10, indictments at least happen because indictments are just indictments. You just have to prove it in the court of law. They didn't have enough evidence to do that. Maybe there was different conflicting stories that I don't know what happened. I don't want to get too deep in that part because we're talking about the football standpoint. Nevertheless, he's not going to face any criminal charges. There is still civil suits. He's still facing civil suits from all the victims. He's still facing civil suits from all the victims. That's going to be the standpoint that affects not only his pockets, but his standpoint with the NFL. Regardless, I think this has been such a stain on the NFL so far that unless he completely wins all 22 cases, or if he signs an NDA, he's probably going to face some suspension. Now, how long? That'll be the thing. The NFL has been ranging from Zeke Elliott getting accused of some stuff to getting 6 games, to Ray Rice getting 2 games initially, then getting bumped up. Greg Carter got like 10 games for throwing a woman on guns and threatening her. And then we saw Calvin Ridley get suspended a year for making a sports bet. So we just never really know how the NFL is going to play things out. And the fact that Deshaun Watson is a premier quarterback that is potentially the face of the league, I expect them to be lenient, unfortunately. From a morality standpoint, I expect them to be lenient. Now, it just depends how stuff turns out, but I still expect them to be lenient. They're going to conduct their own investigation, no matter how the law plays out or no matter how the civil cases play out. So I think as soon as he gets traded, there'll be some announcement coming from the NFL from that standpoint. But they weren't doing any favors to the Texans last year with the stuff going on. The Texans wanted them to put him on the exempt list. That way they wouldn't have to pay him. They ended up paying him $10 million. Coming up this next year, he has a cap hit for $35 million on his base salary. Pretty conservative for a quarterback that's probably top 5 in the league. You know what I'm saying? Most quarterbacks get 40 and in the 40 range. And we're going to see that market bump up a little bit this offseason as the salary cap has been bumped up after the COVID year. So that $35 million is something that the Texans are going to be looking to get off the books. If they trade it, I think whoever gets them will be on the hook for 24 of that, at least, something like that, depending on that, because the league year starts on the 22nd. Now, I know there's been a lot of reports about that the Panthers don't really have the salary cap to do that, but remember, they're going to have to trade some people. The rumors that have been traded that come out lately, there's been a lot of steam rolling, steam being built up, like I said, about the potential. They're saying 3 first-round picks, maybe 2 or 3 second-round picks, and maybe a young defensive starter or 2. The names that were floated around were Brian Burns, Derek Brown, J.C. Horn, or Jeremy Chin. A lot of people saw those reports and overreacted. They said one or two, not all of them, guys. So stand back from the ledge. They said one or two. Now, a lot of people don't want to part with Brian Burns. A lot of people don't want to part with Jeremy Chin. But the same people were criticizing those two guys during the year because of the missed sacks, or saying Jeremy Chin can't play safety, or saying Derek Brown sucks against the run, or he's a draft bust. So it's funny how precious these people look when they could potentially get shipped away. But when they're on the team doing their thing, they get heavily criticized unfairly. But I'm just going to put that out there. Nevertheless, the Panthers, let's talk about it. Because if they make those, it seems like the numbers may not work out, because all those guys are on rookie deals. But at the same time, if you designate them to be traded after June 1st, even though you may agree to it before June 1st, you can still designate this trade to happen after June 1st. That way it affects the cap and you get more benefit. If you put it on the books before June 1st, a lot of the money that's going to be due to these guys is going to be, it's a little bit murky. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to get into the salary cap thing. There's too many other things to get into about this topic. So it's going to be a little bit murky. There's going to be some vets that get cut. There's going to be some restructuring, probably with Christian McCaffrey. We've already done it with Shaq, obviously, and Taylor Moton. So there's going to be some moves that are going to be made. I'm thinking that you can actually restructure Deshaun Watson's to convert some of that cap hit to signing bonus, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm not a capologist. I know that when you have that base salary, some of it can be converted to signing bonus, which is what, I mean, other times it can kick money down the road. Sometimes that you can just really convert it. The cash doesn't change. He's going to get $35 million regardless, but you can work some money around where it only counts against half of that will be counted against the salary cap. And I'm sure that the Panthers will do some salary cap gymnastics, because I've said it before. Look at this New Orleans Saints. The salary cap is a myth. But would people be open to trading all those starters? Because our defense has really been the only bright spot, even though people criticized them this year also. They made a big improvement from last year. A lot of it has to do with the young talent. Me, myself, getting a franchise quarterback, allegations and all that stuff aside, what is the cost? To me, it seems like there's no price that's out of reach. And I feel like the Panthers are feeling the same way. The Rams, you see that. They get rid of those picks. You see Russell Wilson got traded from the Seahawks. The Broncos gave up everything. They didn't care about those picks. Picks are just picks. They don't really always pan out. We've had some first-round picks that work, like DJ Moore and stuff like that. We've also had some that don't work out, like Vernon Butler or Kelvin Benjamin. So you never really know. A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush, is what a wise man once said. And Deshaun Watson will be that bird in the hand if you trade for him. But we're gonna be hamstringed a little bit when it comes to salary cap and assets, obviously, from the draft. So you have to be very smart, and it will test the metal. Obviously, Deshaun Watson has to waive the no-trade clause for it to be something that happens. The Panthers wanted to speak with him in person before doing that. Even going back to last year, they didn't get that luxury. Now they're definitely going to do it this year, and now that the stuff has happened, I'm sure Watson will probably be open to it also, because I'm sure most teams will want to do that. Word came out that David Tepper, he had been wanting Deshaun Watson from the beginning all the way through the end. His interest never really changed. And the reports also came out that he hired a private investigator to look into the matter. We just found out about that private investigator, so maybe that PI was going to work early on in the standpoint, and Tepper has the biggest checkbook in the league. I'm sure he got one of the best PIs money could buy. They might have got some information that other teams weren't privy to, and if you're trying to trade for Deshaun Watson, there's no reason you would make that information public, especially if the investigator is private. That's kind of what private means. Nevertheless, they've been staying pat on trying to get him, and quarterback just seems like something that we're thirsty for. And it's going to put butts in the seats. It's going to take a lot of butts and make them leave. A lot of people just don't want any parts of the Panthers that they bring in Deshaun Watson. But it will definitely fill up the stands for people that are interested. Because Deshaun Watson, he's from the Carolina. I mean, he's from Georgia, but he played ball in the Carolinas. He brought a championship to Clemson. There's a lot of people that love Deshaun Watson, but this is also the Bible Belt and a very conservative part of the country that won't stand by it. And with the Panthers being ran by David Tepper, a lot of people have been sour and looking for a reason to leave the fan base also. I can't blame anybody for wanting to stay or go regardless. You know what I'm saying? But that kind of is what it is. So from there, it just seems like it's almost up to Deshaun Watson. It seems like David Tepper is going to be desperate enough to do whatever. They gave up all that money to try to get picks to get Sam Darnold. And moving on from Teddy, it seems like they're willing to do anything and everything. So I don't think the price will be the issue. It will be if Watson wants to come here. And I think the Panthers made it possibly, and somebody brought this up, my man Kevin from Four Man Rush said that It's more so maybe the reports got put out there that the Panthers were willing to give up all these players just so they could show the rest of the league how serious they were. Saying that, hey, if the Panthers are this serious to give up all this young talent, why would we even try? Because there's going to be more teams interested. It's going to be a bidding war. Carolina doesn't have this type of opportunity to acquire this kind of talent every day. Nobody really does, because the Panthers have traditionally been conservative when it comes to personnel since inception back in 1995. But this is hearing them be aggressive. It's been weird. That's why you see a lot of people drawing the line in their sand saying that if this happens, I'm not doing this, that, whatever. But sometimes you may even see them come back around because a lot of people just didn't think it might have been possible. Now it may be possible or it may go down. People's opinions are going to change. With new information, people's opinions are allowed to change. That's just how I am. But the way sports and arguing nowadays is, that's not always the case. Nevertheless, does it make sense to trade all these people? Possibly. But if you want to do that, because the defense, you can retool, I guess. You can take some chances. Phil Snow, he's good at maximizing the talent, apparently. The defense made some strides. Yeah, you're going to lose Hassan Reddick. You're probably going to lose Stephon Gilmore, maybe even lose Dante Jackson. But, I mean, you got C.J. Henderson that you made a trade for. You got J.C. Horn. You got A.J. Bouye still. Keith Taylor made strides. So you got stuff in the secondary. If you give up a Derrick Brown, you can go get some big bodies in the draft, late in the draft. You got Davion Nixon coming back. DN, obviously, Ita Gross-Matos is still on the roster if you get rid of Brian Burns. But you got some pieces and some things you can make happen. But getting that quarterback is the first thing. People are just like, getting that franchise quarterback is the hardest thing. You can figure out the rest out. It's a lot easier to stumble upon good quality talent at other positions than it is the quarterback. So many people miss on the quarterback position. The Panthers are willing to do anything they can to get the quarterback that they need and figure out the rest later, let the chips fall where they may. It's a bold strategy, but we'll see how it works. You guys let me know again down below in the comments what you think about this, because obviously with Deshaun Watson probably getting suspended anyway, this is not a move for 2022. This is probably a move for 2023 and beyond. So you're going to have some time to figure things out when it comes to the salary cap. If you get suspended, does that really count against the cap? Who knows? But there's a lot of stuff to unpack. We'll continue to monitor this. I'll continue to give you guys reports and videos and my opinion on this matter as stuff continues to develop. Stay tuned, guys. Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. Make sure you are subscribed and stick around. I'll see you next time. Peace.